hit that like button. We're gonna jump into this real quick. A few things that I've noticed. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing started because there's several natural disasters that are going on right now, and I've found it kind of strange. But hey, man, this is the Mo You Know, and today we're gonna do a little how can I call this? Not astrology because we ain't worried about the stars, but technically we could because we are gonna be talking about the moon today. We were talking about the tsunami before we got cut off earlier this week, but all of it don't make sense. It makes sense, but it don't make sense. Over this last couple of weeks, we've been seeing extreme weather conditions. Now, for for the record, we are documenting the world's hottest summer in recorded history. So right now it's been pretty hot. We know we had whew, several heat days, but there's a lot of stuff going on. So what made me want to do this live was, of course, we were talking about the tsunami. It was that documentary that got us flagged. We didn't get a copyright strike, but it did shut the whole stream down. But we just witnessed a once in a lifetime hurricane in LA 2 weeks ago. Last night was the largest earthquake in Morocco, Africa. Yesterday was also the most rain that Hong Kong has had in a while, has been flooded. Last week we had the two blue moons. 4th of July we had the red moon, and when the two blue moons, it's basically a super blue moon, is when you have two full moons in 1 month. Well, that happened, and that was the closest that the moon has ever been to the earth. And we know that once the moon gets close to the earth, it starts changing things. It makes it start acting a little weird. It changes the tides and everything. And I said, man, we got to talk about all of this because this just this is kind of important. You know, everybody don't want to talk about climate change and global warming. We're not going to get into all of that, but we will be talking about climate change a little bit. And just, hey, man, the ice caps are melting faster than we've ever seen. Man, it's a lot of stuff going on. But let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm the Mo You Know, Mo.J. And, every now and then I do get away from joking around and I take things serious. And, man, like, this is stuff that's going on right now. So let's go ahead and jump into this and see everything that's going on and see if we can link anything. Now, let me see. Because the first thing I do when I wake up is always check the news. You never know what's going on. You always got to see what's happening. All right, here we go. Here we go. What up, LeVay? So at least 2,000 people have been killed in Morocco from an earthquake. Let me see. So this is the affected area, and it was a 6.8 on the Richter scale. So they just had a major earthquake. At least 2,000 people are documented of passing right now. See, I flew into Casablanca, so that's the only part of Morocco I've been in. I never been down here. I'm gonna have to go see it though. All right, hold on, let me see. What up, Eric? So we're gonna be on CNN a lot. Cause I always check here. A lot of people, man, that's bullshit, Mo, man. Fuck CNN. Hey man, get out of my face. Morocco earthquake kills more than 2,000 and damage historic city. Let me see something.
Destruction everywhere. That's how one survivor describes the aftermath of a powerful 6.8 magnitude earthquake that struck Morocco Friday, killing more than 1,000 people. It was the strongest to hit the area in over a century. Rescuers are now struggling to access the hardest hit areas after roads were damaged, and we're now seeing images of patients waiting outside hospitals. Residents have been sleeping on the streets, fearing for the intense aftershocks. I want to bring in CNN senior international correspondent Ben Wiedemann for more. Ben, these first few hours, you'd mentioned the first 72 hours are critical in trying to locate survivors.
Now, remember, we were talking about the tsunamis. Now, if this earthquake happened within the mass land, then you probably won't get one. But if the earthquake happened a little further out into the ocean, that could potentially trigger one, especially at 6.8 magnitude. Now, which made me bring up this whole live because this earthquake, this is the largest earthquake they had in a century. We just had a hurricane that hasn't hit in over 81 years, 84 years or something like that. So we're getting these once in a lifetime events and we're just watching them and no one's even peeping it out. But I am though. So that's why you guys subscribe to me because I'm gonna fill you in on the information you didn't know that you needed. Now you might not ever use this information, but hey, we finding out about it.
What are you learning about the kind of rescue efforts that actually can happen given so many roads and, thoroughfares are impassable?
Yeah, keep in mind, Frederica, that the epicenter of this earthquake, which happened at 11:15 Friday evening local time, was 45 miles southwest of Marrakech in the high Atlas Mountains. Now, I've been up there. Anybody who's been up there knows that they're very high mountains. The roads go through steep, deep ravines and crevices. It's a very hard area to navigate, certainly under the circumstances that follow an earthquake like this, 6.8 on the Richter scale. We've seen video that shows many of these roads have been blocked by boulders. So the effort is very complicated, also complicated by the fact that this is an area with scattered villages and towns in remote areas, hard to reach in the best of times.
I'm sorry, y'all, man. I gotta look at these mountains. Oh, let me see. Let me see where these mountains at. Where to ask your earthquake struck. Ain't got my email up on there. Come on, man. So the epicenter. Oh, so okay. So the city is over here, and it happened up in these mountains. But it was a 6.8, and it did that much destruction in the city. That's how you know. Hold on, let me see. Seismology. I should have became a seismologist. Uh, Skills. And the crazy thing is, we were just talking about tectonic plates yesterday. So here we go. Here's the scale. We were at a 6.8. That's almost at a major. It was just one. Well, yeah. Well, basically one up under a major. And anything higher than a great, I mean, an 8, you can pretty much, yeah, pretty much count everything to be destroyed almost at that point. But we were almost at a 7. Serious damage over large area, moderate damage in populated areas. I mean, it's reported 2,000 people have passed. Good thing for them it wasn't in the actual city. You know what I mean? And kind of a distance away. It's unfortunate to those that are lost.
And keep in mind that Morocco has limited manpower and equipment to deal with this kind of disaster. The worst earthquake in the last century was in Agadir in 1960, and that left 12,000 people dead. So it's been a while since they've actually had to deal with earthquakes in that area. Now, their death toll at this point, the last we heard, which was a few hours ago on state television, was 1,037. 1,200 wounded, of whom
That's what you're
721,
supposed to
according to
do.
state television.
Earthquakes, man. I mean, it's really a tough call. I mean, you want to try to get outside because you don't know if anything's gonna fall down on you. The street is the best place away from buildings. You just hope you aren't on the fault line and the ground opens up. But yeah, you got to get out the building. Stay away from anything that can fall. Evacuate. Now, you know when you're in fire drills, they say to you, evacuate in an orderly manner. No, these earthquakes. Of course, you're not trying to run nobody over and knock nobody down, but you got to get out of here.
Were in critical condition. So the hospitals are also under a lot of pressure dealing with this number of wounded. We have seen that people have been lining up to donate blood, but there have been a series of aftershocks. Now, night is beginning to settle down on Marrakech. For instance, that's the main city, a tourist attraction, which is in the earthquake zone. Many people are sleeping outside
Congratulations, Cheryl.
again because of fear of more aftershocks. Now, we have heard from the royal palace put out a statement saying that Morocco will be observing 3 days of mourning, that flags will be flown at
Right.
half mast. Now, we're waiting to find out whether Morocco is going to accept all the offers of assistance that have been put out. For instance, the United Arab Emirates has said it's ready to establish an air bridge to provide personnel and relief supplies and equipment if needed. Israel has assembled medical teams, emergency teams as well. France, the United States says it's willing to send teams to survey the damage and see what's needed. But at the moment, the real focus is on the relief effort, which is going on, of course, around the clock.
So if this was going on while I was stationed in Germany, I would get sent out to this. I would volunteer to go on this one. Yeah, if this would have happened while I was out in Europe, they would have sent me down to this. We would have went down and responding. If they would have selected America, if they took America's assistance, then I would have been, you know what I'm saying? They would have sent me down here for this. I would have went down there. We'd have probably did some oil sampling. I'm not oil, but to see if there's any oil and like any of the drinking water. So we'll do some soil sampling, go out there, run the water. I ain't gonna lie, this would be cool. And if any of like they any chemical plants or anything, I'll probably go over there doing any responding. If there's any leaks, man, I ain't gonna lie, I would have signed up for this. I went down there to help out. Let me see. Rescuers rescuers were digging through rubble in the remote mountainous areas of Morocco on Saturday in a desperate bid to find survivors after more than 2,000 people were killed in the deadliest earthquake to strike the country in decades. Now, remember, they said the last earthquake that they had was 1961. Was that 40, 60 years? 61 years since they had an earthquake? They'll observe 3 days of mourning. This is the 6.8 magnitude earthquake shook Morocco's high Altus mountain range shortly after 11 p.m. So 6 p.m. Eastern. What were we doing? Oh man, while we was over here living, getting ready to talk about power, we didn't even know 1 hour later an earthquake was going to happen. The relatively shallow depth of 18.5 kilometers. The epicenter was located about 72 kilometers, 44 miles southwest. So it was only 18 miles deep in the ground. They said it was shallow. They saying it's shallow as 18 miles. Damn. Well, so we got this earthquake going on. Let me see. It's unusual for the country. Same thing. So they don't really have too much information right now. I mean, I guess we can only wait and see. It was total chaos. Voices from the earthquake. Oh, they ain't got no actual voices. They want us to read it. Man, look, we came over here to hear some people on the ground, man. So we got the earthquake that just happened that hasn't happened in over 60 years. Look at this. America just had a hurricane for the first time in almost 100 years. Morocco just had an earthquake for the first time in 60 years. Hong Kong is paralyzed by flash and flood after heaviest rainfall since 1884. Someone do that math off the top of their noggin for me. And this happened yesterday also. They haven't had flash flooding since 1884. I got to know the years. I got to know the years. 2023. 139 years since they had flash flooding.
The heaviest rain since records began in 1884 has effectively shut down this city. A highest level black rainstorm warning was put into effect Thursday evening, 11:05 p.m. local time, and that's why I'm reporting from home. All residents have been advised to shelter indoors. Schools are closed. A number of bus routes and roads are closed. The Hong Kong Stock Exchange is closed. Earlier, we heard from the Hong Kong Observatory that issued an advisory saying this, quote, people should stay away from water courses. Residents living in close proximity to rivers should stay alert to weather conditions and should consider evacuation if their homes may become flooded. Now, we've been monitoring and vetting dramatic video that has been circulating online showing both the deluge and the damage. In this video, you see an example of how a Hong Kong street has been transformed into a river with cars, including Hong Kong's iconic red taxis, submerged in floodwater. And in this clip, you see the impact of the black rain from the perspective of a resident, rainwater seeping into the stairway.
Kind of seems like you watching the day after tomorrow, don't it? Kind of make it seem like you watching a movie, don't it? Just all of these once in a lifetime events are just occurring. Well, it's no coincidence, y'all. It's just nature taking its course. It's no coincidence. Once that moon came that damn close, man, we had a red moon in July. Then we had a super blue moon in August, September. Come on, man. It's like Jumanji, man. Nature's taking over.
Of an apartment building after the street is flooded outside. And in this final video, a dramatic rescue. A person had to be taken out of a partially submerged vehicle by Hong Kong firefighters. Heavy rain also reported in southern China, including the megacity of Shenzhen. We have learned that authorities there plan to discharge excess water from its reservoir on Friday, and that could potentially worsen the flooding situation in
What?
northern Hong Kong, including the northern New Territories.
Hold on. Did they say they're about to release water from the reservoir, which will mess up Hong Kong? Because it's probably too much water, and if they, oh man, I'm listening to this again. But what it's sounding like is this other city has too much water, and they might have to release water to save themselves, but it might make it worse in Hong Kong. I think that's what she was saying.
We have learned that authorities there plan to discharge excess water from its reservoir on Friday, and that could potentially worsen the flooding situation in northern rainwater seeping into the stairway of an apartment building after the street is flooded outside. And in this final video, a dramatic
I may have
rescue.
heard
A
that wrong.
person
Hold
had to be
on.
taken out of a partially submerged vehicle by Hong Kong firefighters. Heavy rain also reported in southern China, including the megacity of Shenzhen. We have learned that authorities there plan to discharge excess water from its reservoir on Friday, and that could potentially worsen the flooding situation in northern Hong Kong, including the northern New Territories. This is just the latest extreme weather to hit Hong Kong a week ago. This area was pummeled by Typhoon Saola, which was the strongest typhoon to hit the city in 5 years. By Typhoon Saola, which was the strongest typhoon to hit the city in 5 years.
They got the toughest typhoon. They got flash flooding. One city's trying to save itself, but if they save themselves, it might make it worse. On Hong Kong, man, that's some wild stuff. When you really think about it, it's coming down to like this is real life survival. Hey man, it's flooding up here. We need to protect our people. But if we protect our people, we potentially hurt others. You know it's bad. Everybody always talks about China. Man, they shut down their stock exchange. It's bad over there. And now they potentially about to get flooded by another city to save themselves. Man, sheesh. That's a major decision. That's a major decision right there. I don't. Let's see what they got to say. Record-breaking rainfall paralyzed much of Hong Kong on Friday, with a flash flood submerging onto metro stations and trapping drivers on roads as authorities suspend schools and urge the public to seek safe shelter. Photos and videos showed residents wading through the water, the murky brown flood waters. Heavy rain continued. The densely populated 7.5 million city. In some low-lying areas, streets transformed into surging torrents, with authorities forced to rescue motorists stuck in their vehicle. Let me see. The Doge began Thursday night with Hong Kong Observatory recording more than 158 milliliters, 6 inches in the rainfalls between 11 p.m. and midnight, the highest hourly rainfall since records began in 1884. Some parts of the city saw almost 500 millimeters, 19.7 inches, pause, of rainfall in the 24 hours, according to the damn vehicle in a collapsed road section at the flood. Damn. Oh man, I would hate for my car to be down here. I would hate for my car to be down here. Hey, facts, booby traps. That's life decisions on another level. That's protect ourselves. Now these are innocent people also, but we gotta protect ourselves. Man, they said, oh, let me look that up because this was Thursday, and they said they're supposed to do it on Friday. I don't think they did it. I don't know. We're gonna see. Um, it was a typhoon Saola, originally a super typhoon, weakened equivalent to a Category 2 hurricane. Hurricane Lee is the first Category 5 hurricane in this season, and it should be hitting the East Coast this week. So we can talk about that also. But it's crazy, man. That's what the moon did. Like once the moon came up here, jacked with the Earth gravity, it threw everything off. It threw everything off. But that's a life cycle, man. It's eventually gonna happen to everybody. But I don't think it's gonna be nothing too drastic. Not nothing that we're gonna see during our lifetime. Equivalent of category 2 hurricane. It reached Hong Kong last weekend. So last weekend they had the typhoon. This week they got the flooding, but was still potent enough to shut down the city and cause hundreds of flights canceled. 86 people were injured from the typhoon. Friday's Doge again caused widespread transport and business disruptions. The financial hub. Friday's authorities appealed the business to allow non-essential employees to stay at. Man, they better be able to stay at home. So basically, they just shut the whole city down. It's kind of like how the pandemic was. Non-essential, stay home. But and then like they're not calling grocery shopper like grocery employees. essential workers right now. It's everybody. Hey, get home, get home. Um, Stuart Hargreaves, a Hong Kong resident and professor, was forced to spend the night in his car, being stranded while driving home. The flooded roads were impassable. He said at one point the water was coming over the hood of the car. What? He said he was driving in water, and at one point the water was coming over the hood of his car. If water's coming over the hood of your car, that means if there were no doors, that would be up to like your chest level. He was sitting in chest level water driving through there talking about he hoped the car engine wouldn't flood. Damn. Sheesh. I want to know what kind of car he had if he was driving through flood water like that. Several other cars similarly flooded were floating nearby, he said. He managed to park in a safe place, but there was no way out, leaving him stuck until daybreak. He managed to drive home 9 hours later. The road was full of rocks and landslides, debris from trees. So I guess where he passed, he may have been like up. He may have been like up the hill, you know what I'm saying? Upstream. Because he said he drove home a little bit later. Damn. Sheesh. Damn, man. You'll never think of like China flooding. You know what I mean? When you think of China, you'll never think of like China flooding. But I mean, I guess not. They said it's been since 1884. Oh, black rainstorm warning. Let's see what those levels are. Oh, I mean, it's a PDF. All right, rainstorm warning system. See, this is like I always bring up stuff that I had to do. So I wouldn't do anything like this. We used to contact weather, but this is kind of like how our system looked when you got like, your black flag and stuff. I would have to go out there and check the heat, the real heat, and then tell them, "Hey man, y'all can't be out there working." But I just wanted to see the levels that they had. The amber rainstorm is yellow, red rainstorm, black rainstorm. Heavy rain is falling or is expected to fall generally over Hong Kong. Heavy rain is falling and is expected to fall generally over Hong Kong, exceeding 50 milliliters. How much for 70 milliliters? Damn. That's crazy, man. And remember, y'all heard it first. I was the first person to report Hurricane Lee coming to the States. Y'all ain't hear nobody else talking about it. It was just me and the weatherman, me and AccuWeather. We were the first ones to talk about Hurricane Lee. So it's saying Saturday, September 9th. So today is where we're at here. See, this looks like it might go towards like Northern Virginia, like the DMV area. Not unless it bypasses and goes up to like Jersey or something. Where you guys think Lee is about to go? So Sunday, Thursday to still be mid ocean. So it probably won't hit the States until like that next Sunday. Major hurricane. Let me see. Okay, so it is a major hurricane. They said it'll probably drop down from a 5, but then it'll pick back up. So major hurricane wind speed is greater than 110 miles per hour. NAC tropical cyclone forecast tracks can be an area forecast uncertainty is conveyed by the track forecast cone. Yeah, see, I don't know, man, but like, let me see. I was trying to find something so I could relate it to this, but like I said, we work directly with the weather. With all of that, we used to have all kinds of equipment. So depending on what the weather was, and depending on what we brought out, whenever, like, say if there was a nuke that went off or something, and the bloom that comes from the explosion, we got to make sure we track which way it's going to go. We got to try to predict where it's going to go so we can set up, make sure that we are downwind, because you don't want to be downwind. So you got to make sure you ain't downwind. All this stuff was cool. I don't know. I just never, outside of doing it for work, like this is my job. You know what I mean? So outside of, I never really, I don't know. I don't know if I'd have been interested in doing that right now. Like being a meteorologist is cool, but man, I ain't trying to be up on no suit early in the morning though. You know what I mean? Going in there tired as hell. The Palm Beach. Oh, let me see. Hurricane Lee may have weakened, but is expected to rebound in the coming days. It will bring a major coastal threat to much of the U.S. East Coast as it moves northward in the upcoming week. Hey, for real, man. I don't. I'll read up on all this stuff. I mean, man, the Weather Channel. Every time we get on here, they don't ever want their videos to play. Talking about now playing. Oh, here you go. Here you go, Kendall. They said it might get close to Maine.
That's a Cat 3. We're checking in here on Hurricane Lee, a major hurricane. That's a Cat 3 or higher is considered major. It's crawling along, though, only at 10 miles an hour right now.
That's a
It's putting
slow
out
creep.
winds of 115 miles an hour,
Yeah.
but the storm itself is very slowly crawling along and isn't expected to maintain strength here through the rest of the weekend, likely strengthening to a Category 4 early next week. And it will eventually take a turn towards the north, but you'll notice here by Thursday, so 5 days from now, it's still well south of Bermuda. Now, what it does after that, still a big question, but we are going to be watching it very closely here in Maine for the possibility of it arriving here in New England or somewhere in the Canadian Maritimes. Now, we'd see high surf and wind either way, whether it hits New England or not. But if it does, we'll be talking about heavy rain, high winds, and some major storm surge as well. So we're going to be watching it here very closely. You can bet over the coming days, Connor.
Back to you, Connor.
We're checking in here on Hurricane Lee, a major hurricane. That's a Cat 3 or higher is considered.
So right now it's on a slow creep. They said it's only going 10. The storm is only moving like 10 miles per hour, but the wind is blowing 115 miles per hour. That's crazy. Like think about it. The winds around the eye of the storm is going 115 miles per hour. So it's just fucking crazy out there. But the inside of the storm is only covering 10 miles an hour. It's just slow creeping. And only by Thursday. It's not even gonna be at Bermuda by Thursday. This thing is just chugga 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 chugga. And that's what we were talking about last night with the tortoise and the hare. See, the tortoise is the center of the eye. The hare is 115 winds. That's what gets you. They say on the inside of a hurricane is kind of like the inside of a tornado. They say it's calm in the eye of the storm. That's kind of wild, ain't it? That's kind of wild, ain't it? It's like no wind. It's just calm. You don't hear any animals. It's just, and then out of nowhere, it's just like the movie Twister. You hear a, hey, what the fuck is that noise? We in Jurassic Park? No, you in the eye of the storm. You in the eye of the storm. Let me see if I can find a video.
Hurricane Dorian made landfall on the.
So this is 2019. I remember this video. Hey, watch how the inside of the hurricane looks. And this is a category 4.
Hurricane Dorian made landfall on the Bahamas with wind speeds of 185 miles per hour, with gusts going up
185.
over 200 miles per hour. And we know that because of hurricane hunters who fly into the storm to collect critical data and get pictures like this one, this is what is able to keep a lot of people safe. And you can imagine this is quite scary to be in the middle of, but just another day at the office for my next guest, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Cross, who's with us. So you flew into the core of this hurricane. This video is incredible. We've seen from one of your teammates a picture that has gone viral. Tell us about, especially considering we were talking in the break. You said you've flown into a storm, so not necessarily, it could be the same storm multiple times, 165 times. Tell us about being in the middle of Dorian and how this compares.
Hey, Brian, thanks for having us on. First off, glad to be here.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
Dorian is a very powerful Category 4 storm. Like you mentioned, it's sort of the same for us every time we go out and fly. Every storm has its own unique personality, so you never really know what to expect. But Dorian, she's very powerful, and she's been holding this very tight eye wall and a really well-defined stadium effect for the last couple of days. So the crews that are flying in and out of Dorian daily now, we're on the squadron's on its 13th mission right now. We started in Curacao, we pulled back to Homestead, Florida, and now everything is currently flown out of Keesler Air Force Base right here in Biloxi, Mississippi. It's a very fun job. It's very thrilling to do this. It's actually incredible to see what Mother Nature has created from the inside and what I call the belly of the beast, to be up and close and personal with a hurricane that's this powerful. It's a good ride going in. Sometimes it's smooth, sometimes it's bumpy. You just never know.
It really is beautiful as you see it, but you must, I imagine, be thinking as you're flying through this storm, you of course.
I've flown.
Like, look at that. The center of it is just a regular day. Just a regular day, and just clouds just going around acting a fool. No, to me that stuff's interesting, man. I've always been fascinated with like natural disasters and stuff. Like just seeing that this stuff happens, like, come on, man, this is what the inside of it look like.
Many storms, like I said a few minutes ago, and I've also ridden out some major storms on the ground. I can tell you, Brianna, I would fly through a hurricane any day before I ride one out on the ground, if that helps the viewers out there. I can control what I'm doing in the storm environment in that air.
Hey, man. No, like, so what are you trying to tell us? All of us need to become hurricane watchers? Like, man, we can't go up there in a plane. Come on, Colonel. Now he a lieutenant colonel, but you can call him colonel. You don't have to call him lieutenant colonel. You can just call him colonel. Let me see something. I seen a video of people like on the ground inside of it. I was like, damn. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We got another one. We got the category 5 hurricane coming. We got floods. We had an earthquake. We had a random hurricane out in LA. And now the world has just experienced the hottest summer on record by a significant margin. That means a whole lot, people. That means a whole lot. Here at the Pantheon. People cool off near the Pantheon in Rome, Italy, August 22nd, Mo's birthday. Italy, Italy experienced severe heat waves this summer. Oh man, Italy's a beautiful place. Italy is a beautiful place. Italy is a beautiful, beautiful place. Have I ever been to New York and ran through the fire hydrant? Hell no. I've only been to New York one time and I was there for like 3 days. After that, I had a dip. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know, man. New York is cool, but this might not be for me. You gotta be a city slicker. You live in New York. A city slicker. So they over in Italy had experienced this hottest summer, had heat waves. Let me see something. Since we over in Rome, we might as well go over a little Romy Rome Rome. Yeah, a little Romy Rome. See, I got to go back over there, man, because I was there during the pandemic. Damn, I was over there. It was hot too. It was hot. I ain't gonna lie to you. I said, man, damn. Good old Romy Rome. Oh man, nah. So, Kendall, you got to understand. At my age, when I was growing up, the only storm chasers we knew were white people. Like I never knew a storm chaser, but all the storm chasers that were out here, that was like a white people thing. Black people, we didn't do that. You know what I mean? So I mean, I wouldn't have. Nah, hell no, I wouldn't have been no storm chaser, man. Definitely wouldn't have been no storm chaser. But what you doing today? Oh man, I got a tornado, baby. Where you going to? Yeah, and I want to use my camera a little bit more, man. This is a nice ass camera. Look, this is how they do their security. They ain't playing with you. What a marvel. Oh, that's what I was showing this for. Because a lot of this, people just think it just happened over time, but nah. Some of the Coliseum got knocked down because of earthquakes over time. Yeah. Coliseum, boy. I tell you, if I was alive back then, I'd probably be about 14-0 in that Coliseum. I probably would have been in there doing what I had to do to survive, man. They would have been mad. There would have been a movie made after me. Mokales. Who is Mokales? Man, they say he was a bad man. As the heat waves continue to bake parts of the world, scientists are reporting that this blistering, deadly summer was the hottest summer on record by a significant margin. June to August was the planet's warmest such period since records began in 1940. So about 80 years. So we got the hottest summer, 80 years. The first hurricane, 80 years. The first earthquake in 60 years. The first flash flood in over 100 years. Well, even dating back to 1884. We got the first category 5. All of this is happening within 2 months. All of this is happening in 2 months. Now we got to go see a little, you know what I'm saying? Just see what the blue moon did, what that super blue did. Let me see. Typically, these records, when tracked to average air temperatures across the entire world, are broken by hundredths of a degree. So where'd it go from? This summer was 16.77. So when they say a hundredth of degree, it'd be 16.777. But it would have went to an 8, which is 60.66 degrees Celsius above the 1990 to 2020 average. Damn, so it was a half a degree almost. God. 2/3 of a degree away from being hotter. Damn. It was inevitable. It's been a searingly hot summer for swaths of the northern hemisphere, including parts of the United States, Europe, and Japan. Record-breaking heat waves, unprecedented ocean temperatures. That's why we got these hurricanes coming. So 1940, the average temperature was 15 degrees Celsius. Let me see. 15 degrees. So the average temperature was 59 degrees in 1940. The average temperature was 59 degrees. Let me make sure. 15.6. Damn, it was cool back then. So it went from 59 degree average to what is it, 16.8? Damn. So it went from 59 to 62.2. Man, when I tell you, it's heating up out here. He's on fire. The planet had its hottest June, followed by the hottest July, both breaking records by large margins. August was the warmest month on record, according to the new Corpianus. What is that? Cooper Nation Kush? What is that? Whatever this new data is. The warmer than every other month this year, except for July. The global average temperature for the month was 16.8, 0.31 degrees warmer than the previous record. The dog days of summer are not just barking, they are biting. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, in a statement about the data, scientists have long warned us what our fossil fuel addiction would be once it's unleashed. Our climate is imploding faster than we can cope with extreme weather events hitting every corner of the planet. See, that's exactly what we're talking about. Our climate, man. And that's what I said. We got these extreme weather conditions. And that's what he's talking. Maybe I should have been a scientist, y'all. Maybe I'm in the wrong profession. Maybe Kendall is right. Maybe I can turn my life around and by 50, I can become a meteorologist. We need people like me. So you can look at it and say, hey, Mo, break this down and make it as simple as possible. All right, I got you. I got you. Are you board certified for this, Mo? Hell no. But call me Mocalese. You know what I mean? Call me Mocalese from here on out. Mocalese. Let me see. How does this happen? Oh man, we ain't did our we ain't did the damn what's the thing? Oh, the horoscope. It said not only is the moon a visual delight, but its proximity also intensifies our emotions. Yep, the super blue moon is set to ignite our deepest sediments. We'll be more inclined to connect with others, reveal our innermost feelings, and have a deep and meaningful chats with our friends, partners, and families. Hell no. Facts on the earth. While the supermoon can make spectacular backdrop and photos of landmarks around the world, its intensified gravitational pull also makes tides higher. That's because when the moon is full, the sun and the moon are pulling in the same direction, which has an effect on the increase in tides above normal ranges. Now, I want to know how long after does that happen? Oh man, I want to learn more. My bad. There won't be another super moon until 2037. So that super moon was significant to what's going on now. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. See, the reason I look at all this is because a lot of people they'll just say, "Damn, that's super moon, man. That thing sure was cool." But then when they hear all of this stuff happening, they don't never link it back to maybe it was that moon fucking some shit up. We know it said it's gonna bring the tide higher. I don't know how long that takes, and I'm assuming like it makes the tides higher because it's closer. But once it starts to leave away, is that like messing with the tides also? You see what I'm saying? That's what goes through my head. Like, all right, now he's pulling away. Is it fucking up the gravity? The like, because it said the sun and the moon were pulling in the same direction, which brings the tides higher up on Earth. But what when it bounces off? Does that like push the tides out and then like swarm back in? Then that makes the warm weather on top of everything. That makes the super hurricanes, and we got the big earthquake just because the tectonic plates they were kind of nudging and budging because it was a little time to shake up. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. Cause let me see. We should have witnessed this and noticed all the signs were coming because just a month before we had the blood moon on the 4th of July.
Eerier than usual tonight. There's a reason for that. The first so-called supermoon of the year shined brightly over the Manhattan skyline. Tonight's supermoon is 14,000 miles closer to Earth than a typical full moon. It's also 14% brighter. The reddish hue is actually caused by all of the moisture in the air and some of the lingering haze from the Canadian wildfires.
You see? Fastball. It's a lot of stuff going on at all times. Now they say the next moon won't be till 2037. It's just crazy, man. Everything just hitting at once. Damn. Oh yeah, I do got all them damn. I still got them pictures. I think. Let's see. Oh, where's that picture? Yeah, I got them. Yeah, that was us riding up to it on the boat. Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It's cool to witness this stuff, but you know, it's a natural disaster. I mean, it's life. I mean, it's unfortunate, but Mother Nature don't play, and when it's time to do what she got to do, she got to do what she got to do. I mean, like I said, just unfortunate. We all come from different walks in life, but we all walk on the same earth. So if you could do me a favor and start to recycle a bottle here, a bottle there, it's not too much to ask. It's the little things that count. It's the little things that count. And if you could find it in your heart to hit that like button, I would appreciate that too. Damn. Well, extreme climate, the weather is changing on us. We should pull through this. Hurricane season is starting up. I'll keep track on Hurricane Lee. The guy Danilo, shout out to Kendall. They spotted him 2 more times. 2 reliable sources said they spotted him. The guy that was working in the guard tower, he was on administrative leave. I think the last thing I read was they fired him. I could be wrong. And they started bringing in more police officers to put them out there because they didn't have enough people to search for him. So I'll let y'all know if they capture him. I don't think they're gonna capture him. I think they're gonna go ahead and end it. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll keep you guys updated. If they go live and they got like a standoff or something, I'll try to get on here and we'll try to see what we can do. But I'll keep y'all updated on everything that's going on. I just wanted to talk about the weather just a little bit. You know what I mean? Because we were invested in that tsunami last week. I ain't gonna lie to you. We wanted to talk about the tsunami, man. But they cut us off. I think they did fire the guard. I thought I read an article either yesterday, like last night, or this morning. I think it said they fired him, the tower guard. But I knew he was on administrative leave. So I don't know. They may have fired him. I don't know. I'll double check. But hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, man. Thank y'all for tuning in this Saturday. I just wanted to talk about the weather. Cause I had seen, I said, man, that's interesting. We can do something like that real quick. Y'all cool with this? I know it ain't talking about nothing, but y'all cool with me just, you know what I'm saying, talking a little weather out every now and then, just here and there. Anything major though, you know, anything major. If it's just a little windstorm in your backyard or a dust tornado, don't be calling up Mo. You know what I'm saying? We do the big cases around here. The big cases. Don't be talking about, yeah, Mo. Man, I had the water hose on and made a little puddle in front of my yard. No, no, no. We're not covering that. No, we're not covering that. Yeah, Mo, man, it was crazy, man. We had a campfire. I said, damn, for real? Yeah, man, it got a little wild out there. What happened? Man, the fire, they started putting fire on these sticks and running around chasing each other. Man, that's because y'all were fucking around, man. If you don't get out my face, we not reporting that. It's got to be something major. It's got to affect the people. Or extremely rare like this. Almost 200 years, 100 years, 80 years, 80 years, 60 years. That's a lot of stuff in this last 2 months, plus the hottest summer on record ever. Damn. We're just going to have to adapt, man. We about to turn into reptiles or something, but we're going to have to adapt. I also want to talk about, it's a city called The Line that they building over in the UAE, where it's just like 7 kilometers, and it's just going to be just all buildings and stuff over there, self-sufficient. They already started over there. They already broke ground. So I want to talk about that one day, just so y'all can see what's going on over there, because it's some pretty amazing things happening. Some pretty amazing things happening. I will say, once it's up and running, I'm gonna go over there and visit. I gotta see what's going on here, because by that time I'll probably be about 40, 45. You know what I'm saying? Kind of older. Definitely be wearing my glasses all the time. Be just like, oh man, I'm be looking in here like, damn, y'all did a pretty damn good job over here. This is some nice stuff right here. Oh yeah, I'm about to go over there and see what they got cooking. You know what I mean? It's a big world. Enjoy it. It's a big world. Enjoy it. Don't fly through hurricanes unless you're a hurricane hunter. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. My name is Mo J. This is the Mo You Know. And we learned a little bit about weather. Not much, but a little bit. And we realized that, man, the weather is extreme. But as I said again, my name is Mo J, and this is the Mo You Know. And if you don't take anything from my channel, just remember, when those natural disasters come a knocking, you can run, but you can't hide.